I do love the game's ability to rapidly shift tone. That is one thing it does really well. Like, you get a sense of where, like, quote-unquote civilization ends, where human dominion ends, and where very bad things lurk in the dark pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Nobody heard that, right?
I think it would be very amusing if you shot at a light, took a step, accidentally stepped off of the stairwell, plummeted down a few stories, breaking your gas mask, and yelping in pain, prompting 10 people to go, "What was that?" and turn on their flashlights.
Oh, here's the area where Ullman was. That's where we came in. So is this gun
silenced?
Yes.
Because it does not sound silenced when you fire it.
Silenced guns don't sound silenced, though, is the thing.
Right, right.
Well, I mean, I get that they're loud, but this sounds like a kablam with an echo. Like it's not
funny. Well, that was the sound of me blowing up the thing, the lights.
They've gone for the more realistic sound of suppressed guns, where it's still kind of a loud crack. But then they still have the video game system where guys will not look in the direction of a suppressed gun when it goes off. They're like, nope, that's a normal sound and not at all suspicious.
Like in the new Fallout games.
Who was that guy sitting in the corner and crying? What was that about?
I think he's drunk or high or something. I like that there are some guards that are just totally oblivious, not aware at all.
I don't remember that guy, so maybe I was murdering my way through this part of the game.
Here's the place where the Metro 2 guys are.
To be fair, imagine
you mean this black room?
You go to work, sitting in a pool of orange, harsh yellow light, surrounded by darkness and echoes, and sitting with an AK-47 alone for hours. And the most interesting thing possibly that could happen to you is that you get into a mortal combat with a horrible mutant or soldier. It's not a very moralizing situation.
Like, you gotta give this game credit for like trying to give the Nazis a little bit of a characterization, even though they're still ridiculous. At least
especially in this
have
game.
like some thought about. You know, they're not just like total blind mooks.
Guy who sits there is not bug, is AI feature. I apologize.
So supposedly, you're supposed to get a morality point.
You gotta own it, Chris. You gotta own it, Chris. You gotta own your horrible, awful.
When you're saying it, you have to believe that you are doing the greatest Russian accent ever. That's the only way it can work.
Particularly if it's unbearable and causes bleeding.
Especially then.
I am Russian and I am proud. I can't do this, guys. No.
You just gotta tap into your inner. You gotta embrace your inner Nicolas Cage.
All right.
That's what you gotta do.
Totally unguarded, way into the metro with the cart on it to go to Polis. Okay, sure.
Oh, this thing.
So here's something. Why is Polus one of the most populous remaining cities so hard to get to when you're this close to it?
Yeah.
Did
we come the really stupid way?
Artyom is coming from the north.
Yeah, this is something I found odd in the game. It's like you're going to Polis to get them to come and help Exhibition. But by the time you get there, the game has sold you on the idea that there is just no passing through the metro. Like, how would you expect to bring reinforcements? Yeah, what is this?
This is the Dark Ones are talking to us.
They're gonna open the vault.
What is he doing?
Plot twist, the Dark Ones don't actually want to destroy you and eat your flesh.
Wicked phenomenon, yes?
but they're called the Dark Ones.
No, it's not
Ah,
any more
Khan!
evil than, say, fire.
And
It
they
all
like
depends
kill
on
people
your
with their
point of view.
brains.
Try to get a better understanding of things before you make your judgment. Let's move out now. It's not safe here.
They're not any more evil than fire, presuming fire is capable of hunting you down and killing you on purpose.
Well, I mean, this is what I was talking about like last week, where I was talking about how Khan is vaguely anti-Lovecraftian, where like these powers that be aren't inherently evil; they're just bigger than humans, and you'd go with it. Humans aren't that important, whatever, and that's cool.
Right.
Whereas in Lovecraft, it's like you look beyond human realm, and it's terror and oh god. And now it's with Khan, he's very much yeah, they're beyond humans, and they're bigger and stronger and can see things, but whatever. Just do be a good guy.
Name yourselves.
Oh, we're Nazis.
I do like Khan. I do feel bad that we
Yeah.
railroaded that with Khan puns, because he is probably the best
That
character
was
in the whole game.
the worst thing that you guys have ever done to me.
In fairness, I made like two. I made two Khan puns.
All right, come on through.
To be fair, we're enemies invading your station is a pretty shitty joke when you can't really see them and they can't really see you and they've got guns.
Yeah, really terrible idea for a joke.
Oh, they have a bigger tank. Or
Oh, I was
fortification.
so disappointed. Here we're coming into Polus, right? Like right now we're gonna pull in,
This is
and we can't get out. This is the most interesting looking city, and we cutscene right through it. We don't get to stop and look at any of these people. No conversations to listen to. You don't get to go to
they
the
have
store.
working trains, you guys.
Nothing. This is just it. Just I wanted to get out, run around. This is like. It's like going to Tamriel and not visiting Cyrodiil or whatever Chris said last week that made no sense. But you should have known what he was trying to say anyway.
I'm never gonna talk about anything in that stupid series again, because I'm just gonna get corrected on it.
I know.
Chris, let me help you out here. There's no winning when it comes to Elder Scrolls Noir.
Even the games themselves don't have the lore straight, so don't feel bad.
It's fractal and it's a maze of retcons and weird shit that you don't want to know.
Where exactly
about.
are you from?
He's from the exhibition.
What, can't he speak for himself?
And yet another Steve Blum.
No, he can't speak for
Oh,
himself.
luckily you have your translator on hand to translate your meaningful eye movements and eyebrow waggles.
Get changed. There's the clothes.
So here we are in Polus. After all this build-out,
Safe here.
Polus is basically this Rome.
You go ahead and take
Yeah.
some rest, Artyom, and I'll go find
Oh,
you.
it hurt so bad. It made me so sad. Oh, there's the store. There's the after seeing the giant strip mall in Exhibition, and then you get here, and the biggest city in the metro is one guy at a ticket booth selling bullets, and it just it was so frustrating.
Alright, so we have officially killed our last humans in the game. There are no more humans to fight. We do not need stealth shit anymore.
What could it be?
I do wish the game
Flash
tells you that, and
2012.
it really doesn't. It sort of leaves you not sure where it actually leaves you pretty unsure where the plot's going after this point. You're really not sure. You're here at
Yeah.
Polus, you're supposed to ask for help. Where does the plot go?
Oh, buy the
Rounds?
Kalash.
What the hell? No.
Kalash.
Okay, so
No, that's a
we're
great.
gonna
that's
get a Kalash. We're gonna get a Kalash on like the next level or so, there's no point in buying the Kalash right now. Also, I don't apparently have enough money for it because it's silenced and scoped, and that's not terribly useful for us. Next level is going to be hopefully not too much combat, because I'm hopefully going to be able to avoid librarians without pissing them all off. And if it is, then I'll be using my auto shotgun anyway. We'll get the Kalash for free later.
It's a really good weapon
So-
to use if you need to rock the Casbah.
The Kalash
Miller
is
looks
great,
a
man.
lot different in this game than he does in Last Light.
Breaking rocks in the hot sun.
Yes.
Like, Miller looks
this
like
guy
a
gets it.
Con clone here. What the hell?
this model was like half the guys in the game. This beardy model.
Yeah.
Ullman is just this same model with a darker beard, just a retexture. I wonder what's the total count of. Yeah. Oh, look at this beautiful scenery. No, don't look at the beautiful scenery. You can't stop here. Look at this. Just let the players stand in this room for a minute, for crying out loud. It just breaks my heart. This gorgeous area of the game is nothing more than a camera flyby.
I was in Polis for about 5 seconds. They had this clock that was really broken.
I'm ashamed that they lacked the courage.
So Polus is basically the primate city for the entire Russia metro underground.
It's not the whole metro. There
Primate
still are people
city?
who will rise up and fight the
Yeah.
threat
Did you
of the
mean
dark
primary?
A primate city, according to Wikipedia, a primate city is the leading city or in its country or region, disproportionately larger than any others in its urban hierarchy. A primate city distribution has one large city with many much smaller cities and towns, and no intermediate-sized urban centers, in contrast to a rank-sized distribution.
Didn't Artyom, like, intimate the last loading screen that he doesn't really give a shit about his home station anymore? He just wants the job to be done.
There's a huge library on the surface.
Well, I think you would feel the same if you'd been crawling through all this shit for days.
Right, but now he's
On a
going back
maybe?
out there.
And he gets all the way here, and Polis says, "Nah, we're not gonna help."
When you've made your way
Right,
to the library
and
entrance,
from
I'll
what
be
the
there.
loading screen said, I really felt like his response would be, well, they're the bosses, and now apparently your response is, well,
When we go back,
I'm
we'll head
gonna go
straight to
risk
Protagonist.
everything.
My
I think it was
apparently-
less that like he didn't care about what happened to his station, and more than like, finally it's over. I don't have to do anything more.
But apparently you've converted to the Church
The
of
council's
Hunter.
decision
And you're like,
shocked
well,
me.
they won't do it, so I'll
But
do it
Neil's
all by
plan gave me
myself.
hope. Once more, I
You know what?
climbed
Never
up to
mind.
the
I'm
bones
fine.
of Moscow to search for the secret of D6
Yeah, see?
You said the
and a way
magic
to
word.
awaken the horde of missiles.
The secret of D6? Okay, here you go. D6 is a terrible system.
You know, this game doesn't... This game really does not have a strong story.
Oh, shit.
But it has really
I should put my
strong
gas
sense
mask.
of place and theming. I mean, really, that's the takeaway.
Yeah.
Is that, like,
Yeah.
the narrative actually, if you stop and look at it, is badly structured with awkward arcs, and it makes no sense, and probably worked better in the book than it ever could have in a video game. But the setting and the environment and the themes and the motifs work really, really well.
And this game is kind of more a game about themes and motifs anyway, so it's not as bad as it could be if this were like a really strong narratively focused RPG.
Oh
or
yeah, if this had
something.
been if this was a BioWare style stop and talk to people about what's going on, and everybody wants to talk about these nonsense Nazis, and you have to have all these stupid conversations about this war that makes no sense, that would have really, really hurt the game. But most of that's just window dressing on, you know, the atmosphere they're building.
Damn. No,
All
get
of
out of
the
here, you
political
stupid
discourse
Steam overlay.
Is conducted via cartridge, so it's okay.
Yeah.
What's that about Steam Overlay? Should I chat you right now? Should I go, hi Josh?
No, I for some reason I started running and my Steam overlay came up, which you can't even see in the recording because it doesn't record.
Oh, okay.
But
I had that happen in Last Light. It's never happened to me before. And the other day, I hit the run key. This was in Metro Last Light, and the overlay popped up, and I was like, "What on earth caused that?" I wonder if this is an update to Steam.
So one thing I'm watching.
felt like
Josh
it
go
thought
down.
like I had the tab key held down.
That's exactly what I thought.
I'm watching Josh gun down all these guys, and I'm slowly realizing that this is probably mechanically a better Aliens vs. Predator, or not Aliens vs. Predator, but a better Aliens Colonial Marines game than Aliens Colonial Marines, because at least the monsters here are kind of scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
What if there were Slendermans?
Really, I don't think
Upon
they'd be
entering the
scary if you
Great
can shoot
Library,
Slendermans,
I
but
was
here
not.
these monsters are
It
actually kind of
seemed like
scary.
a fairy tale
You
castle.
keep bringing that up. You're just trying to piss him
And
off.
as in the old stories,
Yeah,
its
of course.
treasures were guarded by monsters.
Everybody gets to piss me off.
You're gonna make him piss his pants.
Oh, you guys, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry and quit.
No, don't.
Again, the lighting in this place is fantastic. Like I love the like they definitely went all out on getting the engine to do what they wanted it in this game.
They either picked just the right engine, or their artists were really good at getting, because most engines don't use a lot of effects like this. But they really just the shafts of light, the really strong contrast between very light and very dark, really sells this. Like, you go into a place and even though you can see clearly, you understand that this is a dimly lit room.
But there's so much other stuff we could get here.
This is a pretty good intro, especially since we know from an offhand reference early in the game that this part does not go well for us.
Yeah, oh, the library. Everybody, I was reading early in the series, I read the lead up, everybody's like, oh, the library was so hard, the library was so hard. And I got here and it was pretty annoying. I didn't get killed so much as just turned around and couldn't figure out where the hell I was supposed to go in a couple places.
It always sucks when it's not that you got killed, it's that you got turned around and couldn't save someone else from getting killed.
Or just, I don't know what the game wants from me. Like, I'm running out of filters just because I really have no idea where to go. And the filters is really a rough system that here, because if you run low on filters, it's not like you have a game. Oh, it's not just game over. It's almost like playthrough over. It's like if you come here and you don't have enough filters to get through, what are you gonna do?
Where's the?
That's why it's a problematic mechanic in some context.
It is, and I hesitate to say, I don't want to say, oh, they shouldn't have put it in. It's just, wow, this is a really serious drop. I love the gas mask mechanic. It helps sell you on the idea that this world is poisoned. The game would be much weaker if you could just come up here anytime you wanted and it didn't feel like there was any threat or risk. But it sells it, but it also has this terrible, threatens your entire playthrough.
Yeah.
It really seems like Ranger Easy Iron Man mode is probably the best way to play this game.
Yeah, it really is a good balance between difficult and fulfilling to play. So yeah, I knew one of these doors I had to cut through with my super knife.
It also works because, one thing that just really sticks with me is when RTM is like, finally, I'm done, I can let strong go to wise, and then, it's refreshing to see a video game protagonist that...
Did you really say, can't wait till my retirement, dude? It's for real? Come on,
can't wait till I retire from
goes.
The apocalypse.
What are you gonna retire to? Sitting around begging bullets in town? I don't think there's any more retirement.
I guess that's the joke.
I guess? Maybe it's funnier if you've actually gone through the apocalypse. That's pretty far to go for a joke, though, so I don't know.
But as I was saying, it's really refreshing
I
to
like
hear...
the banter between these two guys.
Because there's
where they're like...
in most games, there's a disconnect between I'm actually getting through all these dangerous situations because I'm saving and loading and saving and loading, and because I'm a first-person shooter protagonist with a health bar and, super aiming and regenerating health and stuff. And, the fact that your character presents himself as, like, this cool, capable guy who, of course, I'm gonna survive this fight. I'm awesome. But actually, he's not awesome so much as he's awesome 5% of the time, and his highlight reel becomes canon. Only his highlight reel becomes canon.
Yes.
But it's sort of cool to have RTM acknowledging sort of that, like, he doesn't have any real reason to expect that he's going to survive all of this necessarily. It's very hard, it's very tiresome, it's very wearying, he's tired of always being in danger, he just wants to rest. And you believe him. You don't think, oh, you're just being modest. Come on, you're not actually in danger here. You know, the game really does make you feel like, yeah, you should feel like you want to stop doing this.
Yeah, where you can enjoy the game but understand that your character is not having a good time, and without having those two concepts be at odds with each other. Like the game, you know, a lot of game developers would just try and make it really tedious. Oh, we want to sell. That's the point of the game, is the tedium. It's to show you how the character's feeling, and it's like, well, yeah, but that makes me not want to play the game. To convey the feeling, the fact that the protagonist doesn't want to do it and you do, is a tough line to walk.
Yeah, it's also tough to walk that line in a way that's interesting without also, you know, sometimes people do that and it's just obnoxious. Like, this is one thing Yahtzee gets down on a lot of things somewhat rightfully, is he's somewhat sick of first-person shooter protagonists who are like really just grim and joyless. Like they approach this like, oh, it's a horrible chore, this is brutal, this is awful, I can't stand it. He's like, well, come on, I understand all that, but I'm having fun. Can't just every once in a while we have like a protagonist who seems to be having fun? I think that's one other thing to do some more of.
I think one of the
guy who
things that
said
helps that
retirement, waiting for stuff about it, just got dropped from 20 feet onto a broken railing. Actually, he survives.
That helps the whole not feeling like Artyom wants to keep doing this is the oppressive atmosphere. Mechanically, the game's actually pretty engaging. There's monsters to shoot, there's guys to hide from, there's stealth, there's shooters, there's a light inventory management system. There's plenty mechanically to
A
keep
variety of
players
weapons.
interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the oppressive atmosphere and environment and the scavenging that really sort of reinforces how beaten down Artyom's got to be by this point.
Right, and that happens in a way that's entertaining to the player rather than... And it is reinforced, that entertaining part is reinforced by Artyom's attitude, rather than it just feels like Artyom's being a buzzkill. That's the important distinction.
Yeah. Where it doesn't feel like, oh, I just hate doing this, and the player feels like, well, maybe I should be hating it too. Maybe I shouldn't play this game anymore. Fine.
At a certain point, it becomes the video game protagonist version of I hate Mondays.
What the fuck? What? Why did I just start shooting? What the hell? I walked to the level barrier and just fired 5 shots from my shotgun. What was that?
You were very excited about hitting the level barrier. And
I didn't. It's nothing. I wasn't shooting at anything.
It's okay. It happens to a lot of first-person shooter protagonists, Josh. Don't get self-conscious.
It happens to everybody once in a while. Don't be ashamed.